I think the honorable thing for our species to do is deny our programming. Stop reproducing. Walk hand in hand into extinction. One last midnight, brothers and sisters opting out of a raw deal.
Do not trust any friends or family members. I repeat, do not trust friends.
Starting recording.
Starting record.
That was taking forever. Man, I don't know if this will end up on the old podcast, but that new Batman movie, we never got around to talking about it. I don't think this is just getting staler and staler and staler. So we might as well we're going to be talking about Ninja Turtles today. Why not talk some Batman first?
Well, yeah, Batman. So there's not much to talk about probably because this baby's fucking stale as an old Ritz cracker. Is that what you're saying to me?
Yeah, I think so. So we might as well just just warm ourselves up. Me.
Well, I want to be optimistic about it because I liked Gotham City.
Uh-huh.
I like that Gotham City that they were doing. It's just the shits. It's the most fucking corrupt. You don't even want to fucking go shopping in Gotham City. You don't want nothing from Gotham City. It is rough as fuck. Unless you're doing blow off a hooker's ass, you don't want to go to that Gotham City.
Yeah, and even then, you're taking your life in your own hands.
Yeah, you're probably fucking dead.
Yeah, it's like going. You know what? I think the problem is that Gotham should feel like I imagine Mexico City is in those like no-go zones. And Gotham should be an entire city of no-go zones. But if it is an entire city of no-go zones, the fuck does it operate?
Well, in this case, it was a city of entire no-go zones, which made it really kind of horrific, which was cool. But then, like you say, who lives there and why? And Bruce Wayne, I like that Bruce Wayne didn't give a fuck about his company either.
Yeah. The year two aspect of this, because we get a lot of in normal or the interpretations we've gotten thus far. Like Bruce comes back, and not only does he return to being Batman, he returns to being Bruce Wayne. And this one's like, no, not interested. What's the point? Like he's pretty much suicidal. He more or less wants to die, but obviously he doesn't going to commit suicide because he's a masochist and he wants to take everybody down with him.
Right. But he's like, the funny thing about this Bruce Wayne, which I thought was also kind of a neat Bruce Wayne, is that he's this like fucking masochistic bastard, but he's not interested in anything except like his crusade, which is madness. And clearly he's sick in the head a little bit here. He's not balanced. He's not like a premier Batman here at all. Which is cool. Also nice to get the year two take sort of thing rather than the old year one reboot over and over and over and over. Like I like this Batman's out there. He's established, but he's young and he's a fucker. But I like that he just, I like that he's operating on too high of a level also to get killed.
Yeah. He's not a shitty Batman. And shit, what was I going to say? Yeah, he's not. He's and I guess that they're also setting up a like you can see the arc, like the trilogy arc here. Like this first one is he's despair. Oh, I remember what I was going to say. One thing I really liked is the bat signal goes on. And all the fucking punks in Gotham are fucking scared shitless. And they, and then they hide. And they're worried about all the shadows and stuff. Because is he going to come out tonight? And
yeah, is he going to come? Is he going to get us while we're fucking doing our thing?
He can't. And I like, and I like sort of the journal element to it. Like, I think the opening of that movie was really strong. And much of what we're talking about is contained within the opening. And then the rest of the movie, someone had said, and one of my other friends already heard me saying this. I think I've already said it to you. I was listening to some people talk about this movie, and they said it was like an entire season of television in 3 hours. And it felt like that to me. Like it felt very TV. It felt very seasonal. Like it something was missing, and
It was like a good It was like a good CSI arc or something. Like
well,
a
I want to say it's a little better than that. I want to say it's a little better than that, but but definitely a prestige television. Like something you'd watch on Netflix. Like I could have seen that show on Netflix, very successfully done. Or like a True Detective. It felt,
yeah. I hear you're saying, and that's what it felt like too, because the I did also find some joy in the awkwardness of like this sick fucking bastard in a giant bat suit, just outing himself to the police force and showing up to work with Gordon.
mhm.
Just like walking past them and not fucking speaking and just ready to go, ready to beat the shit out of the whole fucking police department. Just didn't give a fuck. And they hate him and they know he's a psycho, just a crazy fucking guy in a bat suit, and they can't put it together either.
Mhm.
And I like you say, I like there's like things about it that are neat. I like the Penguin as a straight up fucking gangster. Colin Farrell, what a great little fucking channeling of Robert De Niro he did there. It was pretty great. It was fun, and I just like that they grounded it in reality. Like fuck, it was grimy because of that. But like you said too, that's what sort of you get to a point where it's what did you call it, a race to the bottom for making it so fucking grimy and earthy and awkward that we're no longer in a superhero world. It's just a fucking fruitcake that's out there beating the shit out of people.
Yeah, no, and that's as close as I want to come to that. And this movie is,
yeah, slow clap for achieving what people are trying to avoid
for decades.
It's very interesting in that aspect too. But
yeah, I think the cardinal sin for the movie, it wasn't bad. Like don't get me wrong. It was kind of like my least favorite of. And I think I haven't watched the Schumacher movies. I bet I would like it more than the Schumacher movies, but I don't know because I haven't seen them in a long time. But still, what the cardinal sin of the movie for me is just I didn't find Catwoman sexy, and like maybe that's just I didn't find the Batman Catwoman interaction sexy. They like I could see how they were trying to be sexy.
I find her very sexy. I don't find that they had any chemistry at all, though.
Okay, yeah, maybe that's the fair way to put it. Like there's like those interactions like where he's caught her in a heist, and he pulls her against the wall and he's covering her mouth, and like you see the actors going through this motion of like her heart rate's going up and she's breathing, and you're like and Pattinson's getting a boner through his bat suit and stuff like that, and you see them doing it, and I feel nothing, and just watching them go through the motions and being. And it happened all throughout the movie. It was very unfortunate, and it really took me out of it. You could have cut all that shit. Movie would have been fine.
Yeah, I see what you mean. It's true too, because it's just not. And like that's just them, not the two of them. The actors just not clicking. Like, but Pattinson's like not a sexy. Like, okay, man. Okay, I'm sorry. He's probably maybe one of the sexiest men in Hollywood, just in generally speaking, like in terms of aesthetic. I'm just saying he's not a sexy person. I don't find he's sexual. I don't find he's like got any kind of allure or charisma. Like, he doesn't come at me like who's the Witcher?
Superman?
Yeah,
Henry Cavill. There we go.
Henry Cavill can turn it on. Man, don't fool yourself.
Take you to bed any night, come on, Henry. I hear you, man. Like I haven't seen him like even going back to those Twilight movies. I'm like he's just an awkward teenager. Like the attraction for him for women, like I don't know. I'm not a woman, or individuals who are attracted to men. He's got like this elfish demeanor. He's very gaunt. I don't know.
And cold. And
yeah.
There's a charm to that and an aesthetic to that too, and it also kind of fits Batman. I don't feel like Batman would ever be like I turned on, and I'm not a I don't I don't want any of that Frank Miller Batman anymore.
No, Batman. There's been lots of relationships in Batman.
You know what though? I like
That was
I like that he does an alter ego though when he does. Like I like
Yeah.
I like Kevin Smith's thing.
I
I like
see what you're
Bruce
saying.
Wayne
Yeah.
being a playboy.
Yeah.
I even like Christian Bale's goofy women hanging off him. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you don't have to pull punches. I know he's betting those models, you know?
Yeah.
He's not a
still-
I like that he's a sociopath though, and he just turns that off, you know.
I still want, at some point we got to do Tom King's high romance Batman. I really need your opinion on that.
I mean, I never heard of that. I've never heard of such a thing, and I did not know that it was I know you just labeled it as that.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not sure how to feel about what you just said out loud.
Speaking of things we don't know what to think of when said out loud, might as well transition to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Hi everybody, Extinction Agenda, James and James. We wanted to talk some Turtles again for a while. The last time we talked about the Ninja Turtles was, I think, like issue 6, episode 16, like probably 2 years ago.
Yeah, we did a big book too, though.
Yeah. You know, back to the origins. You know, and I don't know. I think there's more to talk about. And one of the things that sort of led us to this is I had been looking at Sophie Campbell's work on like very recent work on the Ninja Turtles, like Ninja Turtles Reborn, and we grabbed volume 3. I think one of the things that we experienced, James, is the first issue is not drawn by Sophie Campbell. So she's the writer and artist on that book. So it's kind of like an auteur thing. And
okay.
Yeah. And so say what you want, you know, it's it's fucking dumb. It's not for us. I'll say that. But you'll be unsurprised to discover that Sophie is a transgendered woman. You know, I think that's pretty signposted by the comic. Like everybody's like the basic ideas as we read a little bit of it, and then we were like, this is us. We can't. Sorry. And not, you know, not because of the transgender bits, just because it's just not for us. It's you know, it's all high school feelings and stuff, and very little action.
Yeah. And well, Sophie too, like, I mean, as far as my flip through goes, is a really well versed like sequential artist. Like this art is nice. It's got a real smooth panel flow. Really, like, you know, the sad thing about not having a lot of action when you have this kind of handle on action too. It's
a strange book, and I'd seen some other Sophie Campbell stuff, and I just, you know, I thought it'd be good for us to dip into it, and I'm glad we did to the extent that we did. But we were just really surprised to discover like what had happened to, or I was really surprised to discover what had happened to the Ninja Turtles as a property. You know, like it's as you know, but what the fuck do you do with the Ninja Turtles, right? Like,
I mean, I was flipping through the Toka and Razor throwback to Ninja Turtles too, right?
Yeah,
Mama, that was a full throwback to the movie. I mean, great job. That's very awkward call out to a fucking Vanilla Ice movie. You know what I mean? Like, I can see that. I can see that Sophie's like here for the real fans too. You know, but
it's got Bebop and Rocksteady. It's got but it also has all these new characters. I think they're new. I don't know what Peter Laird and Kevin Eastman had been up to in the interim. But the whole thing is like, okay, so New York got mutagen bombed or something, and there's more mutants. And the Ninja Turtles are kind of like guiding some of these mutants who feel like outcasts and teaching them martial arts and self-discipline and stuff, and having like radio programs and trying to get elections in Mutant Town. And at the same time, Bebop and Rocksteady have like a punk band, like an evil punk band. And they've got Toka and Razor, I think, because again, I was just skimming it, and they want to attack the Turtles, and the Turtles are like, no, let's have a punk show, and whoever's the best at the punk show wins. And yeah,
It's got some Scott Pilgrim vibes coming in too, a little bit for me.
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
You know,
for sure. I didn't think of that, but yeah, that's definitely it's very playful and very but it doesn't want to traffic in a lot of violence. It wants to, it's trying to be for kids. And I thought about one of the, I guess my entry into this is I think this is how I get into a lot of things. I think about myself like, if this was an episode of Goosebumps, would this be acceptable? But not Goosebumps in this instance. The Ninja Turtles Adventures comic. Do you remember that old Archie comic?
No.
Well, it was the cartoony Ninja Turtles comic from way back when. The cartoon had come out, and everybody's into Ninja Turtles, and Archie does their own Ninja Turtles comics, and they're completely for children. They're all cartoony. They're all they're just all cartoony and for children. And this book is not for children, but it is cartoony, and it is for teenagers. It's still a product for youth, which makes a lot of sense. I know that we really like the Ninja Turtles but this is co-published by Nickelodeon, or something. I mean, Nickelodeon had something to do with this because they got credits somewhere.
Right.
Yeah, there's movies, there's property, there's cartoons. This book is kind of part of a universe that our children, I hazard a guess, it'll make more sense to them. It's more for them.
Yeah, and I think I don't think that Maddie would not enjoy this because the art style is very anime. There's still action. The drama is dialed back to, like you say, like more of high school teen drama. Dialogue's there. The characters are very Pokemon-ish, or I hesitate to use the word that you used to go.
What did I say?
The furries,
Oh, yeah, no, it is very furry. It is. I don't mind saying that.
It's furry. There's a lot. There's a lot of there's a heavy duty animal sexualization, which is I mean, it is not par for the course on any of the original material. But I mean, once you build up a full cast like this, but I mean that's the other thing too. Sexualization is a choice too. He-Man has elaborate reboots and a very diverse environment, new characters, new sort of kickoff where you got rid of He-Man and Skeletor and ran Teela as a lead character, and that there's a choice though to subvert that and push into sexualizing the characters too, right? So that it makes the property different. So in addition to being high school drama, now it also has that element also, which is like, unless that's what you're looking for, is awkward. And I don't know what, if the original Ninja Turtles fans really look for that. I would be surprised, but like you say, maybe the property has gone well beyond that now and is just sort of just plunked there for a younger generation, to discover it in their preteens.
And yeah, and anyone who's listening, I want to emphasize that to the extent that this is sexualized, it is very chaste. There's this nice little kiss at some point, but there is.
Oh yeah.
It's not, and actually there's not a lot of boobies or anything, definitely not.
Oh no, it's very soft. It's just that there's tension. Aggressive conversational tension.
Yeah.
Where it's made, that it's abundantly clear that while the critters are relationship seeking and having blowouts and so on and so forth.
Yeah. One thing I was kind of surprised to learn, this is a little far afield, and I don't know how it'll help us transition to talking about other Ninja Turtle stuff, but one of the things I learned about Doctor Who fandom is in the wilderness years, prior to the reboot, prior to 2005, and maybe even after, but I can't speak to that. Doctor Who's he's like a gay man, right? He's never in any sort of sexual relationship. He has women, he has men. It's not about that for him. And furthermore, he transitions from body to body, and maintains an identity through that transition, through that regeneration. And there, maybe you see what I'm driving at here, but there is, like within fandom, like that, the Doctor became sort of kind of like a queer hero, but also like sort of like for a small subset, and I would imagine have to be an extremely small subset, a sort of a role model for or metaphor for transgendered individuals. And so I'm not really surprised in a fandom in which like shipping is a thing, and queer metaphors, and where that's been just like an element of fan culture since, for God, the 70s, 80s, 90s, to see that finally given voice from an individual who no doubt was a fan as a child, and then experienced, went through a transition, and then like given this property, just handed this, like, this is like getting Batman or Superman, and
100%.
Yeah, and just like go, and but it's so in keeping with the trends within fandom, or currents, elements of fandom. There's lots of other elements, and I think we'll get to those. I think maybe that's our transition point.
Yeah, man, anyway, strong team is just a teenage book. It's not for me.
Yeah, no, it's unreadable, fucking unreadable. Could not get through it at all, and I'm not afraid of some words on a page, and I was
I just like, it's, for me, it's very like it just, the handling is just, it's like, I'm not gonna sit down and read Scooby-Doo. I'm not.
Yeah. No, but what we will sit down to read.
Oh shit.
So when did this fucking thing happen? So this is like an artifact. So Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles body count. Kevin Eastman, layouts, Simon Bisley art. I'm going to go lettering by Steve Levine. He's got to be the worst goddamn letterer in comics. So issue number 1 came out of Mirage Studios in October of 1994, but the rest of it wasn't published until April to July of 1996 under Image Comics. And then it didn't get sort of a collected treatment until much, much later.
Also, Collected is out of print because they're charging like about $150 for the trade.
Yeah. But I guess Top Shelf just re-released this or something, or it just ended up on Hoopla. Yeah, it just ended up on Hoopla. And fucking right. I did not know that this existed.
This is rock solid. This is it.
But I don't know, man. I really didn't like this. But I love Simon Bisley.
Me too. I think I love Simon Bisley, and I also really like. I don't know. I just really like it. I like me a one shot. This really reminds me of Lobo.
Makes sense.
But
Simon Bisley.
Yeah. Well, exactly. Like, but it's just so cool. It's so fucking cool. It reminds me of a really shitty, like, reminds me of Showdown in Little Tokyo or something. Just like a one shot, thing where somebody got away with their god awful idea, and creatively it all came together, and I got to sit back and just drink it in.
Well, that's exactly. So where the fuck is it there in the notes in the back? So coming to, fast forward to August 1994, blah, 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 blah. After watching Killer, Hard Boiled, and Bullet in the Head, one after the next, we had this brilliant idea. Let's try to capture the longest running gun battle in comics history. And then, that's exactly what they sought to do in this.
Yeah, I was actually about halfway through. I remember wanting to describe it to you as a car chase. It's like a fucking 4-issue car chase, but I guess it's a 4-issue gunfight.
Yeah, because I don't actually think it's a 4-issue gunfight. It really isn't. So that was just like the idea. They were like, let's do that. But yeah, there's so much fucking, and I like, this is such a contrast between what we just talked about, Ninja Turtles being, and I think this is honestly, like, this is really an outlier, because we also looked at some of those classic TMNT books.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh yeah,
late,
and it's not.
like
This
that.
is not standard Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
This is not.
They were just like, let's go full violence, little bit of the ultra violence, but I think it's very telling that this is what we prefer to read.
Oh well, yeah.
Yeah.
Little.
Whatever. Yeah, but that said, I'm not sure what to say about it. Simon Bisley cannot draw. Because of my Punisher work, I'm always looking at guns, as you know. Simon Bisley does not even try. Doesn't even make the slightest effort to draw anything that even resembles like what an actual gun looks like.
No, he actually
yeah.
doesn't. He makes an an aggressive effort to not even try to draw any kind of samurai weapon in any form.
Anything
like,
really.
Like a chunk of 2x4 breaking over someone's head, or the people's heads coming open, are the more realistic things. There's even I'm looking at an image where a guy is actually being shot directly in the ass, and his ass is just splattering blood. People are being shot in the fucking eye, and the chunks of their teeth are coming out, being shot straight in the forehead.
Yeah.
Awesome. Just an absolute savagery. And Raph is hilarious. It's just a joke. Casey Jones and Raph being fucking goofballs.
I think that was kind of a thing at the time, like in Casey Jones and they kind of covered this in the Ninja Turtles movie. They're the first people, the two that encounter each other. I was eating a crumpet this morning, and I swear to God, it's like, you got a cricket bag. You got to eat crumpet. Cricket. I was like, fuck me. Fuck my mental splitters.
Every once in a while. I hope anybody gets that reference at all, but every once in a while I fucking drop the old Jose Canseco bet. Tell me you didn't pay money for that.
Yeah.
I don't know. The showdown of the ages. It's what I want in my memory forever.
Well, I don't think we have a choice, man. I think when we're going to be in the old folks' home, we're just going to be quoting Ninja Turtles to each other, and that's that long-term memory shit. That's not going anywhere.
No, man, a bunch of dudes in rubber suits. It's great.
Oh,
Midnight's phenomenal. Good work, Bisley, by the way.
Oh, right. Okay, so let's. I don't know if anybody's read this. You're, ladies and gentlemen, you're welcome to read this. I encourage you to read this. It's basically Johnny Woo Woo, the Ultimate Killer, has fucking shit. So he's on. I guess there was a botched hit or something like that. Some woman named Midnight. She was supposed to be the driver or something like that, and things went south. We don't quite know right away what the deal is, but she gets away, or Midnight's like, I gotta kill, or wait, Johnny Woo Woo wants to kill Midnight. Midnight bumps into Casey Jones and Raph. Casey Jones and Raph save Midnight. They're on the run from Johnny Woo Woo. Somewhere along the line, the FBI come in, but that has absolutely nothing to do with the plot. And I might as well keep going. Then they end up at a weird church in Philadelphia. It's Philadelphia, I think.
I think so.
Okay, and that somehow has something to do with a guy named Dong in Hong Kong.
Dong.
Yeah. Dong, yeah. I like when may your staff of evil always be strong, and he's like, hey.
This is fucking gorgeous work. Like when you're like resorting to these kind of like stereotypes on your flow, like this is just fucking great.
Oh, it's full toilet bowl. Like
it's almost like this is what Image should have done. Was like kind of like Todd dipped into it a little bit, and they ramped it up for him in the HBO show. The HBO Spawn, still my favorite Spawn.
Yeah.
Fuck these motherfuckers. Like this kind of shit, you know?
Shut them
like,
down, boys. Yeah.
It's just I don't know. I mean, it's just like it's fully extreme, like to the extreme.
Yeah, proper extreme.
Like, ultra violence, ultra gore. Well, the only thing that was missing was like X-rated stuff. Basically, this is as hard R as you could go.
Yeah, appropriate. It's Raphael. I'm looking at his belt. It's got an R on it. The ninja.
Right.
You probably okay. So Simon Bisley, try to pin down Simon Bisley's influences. I dare you. But one for sure that I'm thinking about, and I don't know if you know who this dude is, but
Ralph Steadman.
Definitely, yeah. I was thinking about a guy named Richard Corbin, a comics artist named Richard Corbin. When Raph jumps down that full page image,
yeah,
and he's all veiny and just something about the way the shadows fall on his body and the way that where his penis should be is just smooth and like something about it gives me a Richard Corbin vibe, and I was like, oh shit, of course. And I spent a little time comparing Richard Corbin, because he's kind of so if you don't know, he's like a Frank Frazetta kind of guy, but like a cartoony Frank Frazetta. And so you can kind of go from one to the other to this, and that makes sense to me. Who knows though? But I really see it at play here.
Yeah, I just see some of those, like, it's so like almost like an abstract painting. Sometimes reminds me of a fucking dogs playing poker, and then there's so many like little scenes like when Johnny Woo Woo goes into the club and just starts fucking lighting everybody up, and then there's a picture of this dude smoking, cigarette smoke's coming off the side of his nose, and it just looks like fully out of like an awkward fucking Ralph Steadman, like from the original artwork from Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
But he dips in and out of that with his faces too. Those like shocked kind of like extreme, like sort of grotesquerie. Very good too with like just showing every human disfigurement. Large swollen alcohol nose, zits, weird gross jawline, nasty teeth, bizarre hair, just unleashed.
Yeah. And so many panels. Like again, I don't know if you spent any time or if you have it in the one that you borrowed. At the end, it showed some of like the behind the scenes stuff. Like the original layouts, but then like what Simon Bisley did with those layouts, they're completely different. Eastman's input was minimal.
That doesn't surprise me at all. I mean, like, other than putting words to it, the Jesus guy, what'd you make of the Jesus guy?
I don't know what the fuck to make with any of this goddamn story. Like, it doesn't. So one of the reasons I was feeling to myself that like aside from the Simon Bisley art, like really, if anybody drew this, it would just be the most mediocre fucking garbage. There's kind of a road thing. There's the Jesus guy, and I don't know. Like I don't understand any of this. I'm not meant to. It's not to be understood. It's meant to be experienced.
Yeah, I certainly experienced it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't understand, like Sanctuary, and that's like Sanctuary has, and she's like, is Sanctuary death or life? And yeah, I don't.
You don't know. I don't know what we're doing here.
Yeah, I really don't. Like they're just fucking around. It's like they made this comic as fast as possible over a 4-year period. There was lots of time to figure out what they were doing, but they did no thanks.
It wasn't necessary.
Yeah.
Once I saw Midnight in the final combat outfit.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, I was
so shocked and appalled.
Yeah, two things. I don't know if it shocked me, but Raph, when Raph just like embraces guns.
Oh, that was awesome! Breaks the triggers off and is just like, these things are awesome, and just starts wrapping Uzis against the guy's car during that chase. Awesome.
Death Johnny Woo Woo, time to eat some of my hot lead.
I hate fucking guns the whole way through.
Yeah.
Did they drop? Don't they drop like a lot of swears and stuff too? Didn't one of them drop the word? They do a retard drop too.
Well, it's Raphael. Yeah, he's like, I feel like a retard.
Fantastic work, boys.
Yeah, great job, guys. Yeah,
Unreal,
but sorry, when like, what the fuck? Like, this gets to that Frank Frazetta shit. Like,
yeah.
What
Like,
the fuck?
dude, that's terrifying. That's some fucking. That's beyond Red Sonja and shit.
Yeah,
We're not talking about this is some full barbarian stuff, and I found it very appealing. Not sure why.
Well, yeah, no, why? And the only thing, like, she's basically nude. She's got like a thong, lots of wrappings around her leg, as was the style in the 90s. Huge earrings, and the only thing covering her breast are like just thin strips of, and that's going to change throughout all of this.
And somehow, like, it's somehow a feminine body still. I don't know how.
That's true.
I don't know how Simon's doing this.
Yeah.
I don't know, but kudos.
Yeah, because she's muscled up to that. Like, yeah, she's definitely like a bodybuilder chick. Like, yeah. But there's nothing that has led you. The funny part, why it was so shocking, is just because, like, I guess the violence doesn't, because it's kind of ho hum after a point. You're like, oh my goodness, okay, well, that's good. That's the kind of comic this is. But there hasn't really been a lot of sexuality, and the Midnight character has been pretty just on the run. You know, like, there was nothing led you to believe that this was going to be revealed.
That's true. It's true.
Yeah. And then she has a battle with and this is where I'm like, I don't know what the fuck is happening here. Is zombies or something?
It's awesome. And then they have the final battle is amazing.
Yeah, and they just, like, they kind of allude to some sort of incest thing. They've got a moment where like that original in the Comics Code era, there was you had to be a little bit careful, but you got your Frank Miller and you got your Daredevil comics, and there's that famous image of Bullseye, impaling Elektra with her sai, and the obvious point there is, like, he's penetrating her. There's some sort of, like, symbolic rape happening, and we get a similar thing here. With it's revealed that Midnight is Johnny Woo Woo's sister, and she stabs him through, and he's like,
yeah,
I love you.
Yeah, she penetrates him.
Yeah, but she's all panicked.
Some kind of big hulking bodybuilder fucking. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what to feel.
I love the sound effects in this. I love the sound effects in this comic. Just how big they are, and they're just like, sweet sour King Kong ball, Ying Kung Tap, like, he's just fucking around. Slice, being a real dick. Ram. Oof.
Why is there, like, an elephant and a monkey with a hat and stuff when that building blows up?
Yeah, that didn't get lost on me either. I think, like, that Simon gets bored. Left to his own device. Yeah.
Left to his own devices, he's fucking giving us some Van Gogh type shit here. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then the kiss between Casey and Midnight at the end. Slurp with their big muscle fucking bellies, their roid bellies, like, bumping against each other. It's so fucking gross and weird.
Oh, brother.
Yeah. I don't know. And then I go back to the fucking gangster Kingpin guy in a diaper. Fucking love it.
Yeah.
I love everything that's happening here.
I want to go back to the elephant and the monkey.
Okay, good. Go ahead.
The monkey also has, like, a little rabbit coming out of it, like, popping out of its hat.
The whole thing is like a fucking, it's like Alice in Wonderland. It's like a nightmare world.
Well, and it really is just like like, their boobs. Like, these guys are just fucking boobs, and Yeah. I spent a little time looking at that and just like thinking about it, wondering what the fuck. Anyway, sorry. Yeah, and then the Casey and Raph got to go back to New York City, and that's the end. New York City and the Bronx, 85 miles. And yeah, fucking. But as we sort of discovered, this is this weirdness. Although I think it's probably like maybe the best example of the sort of weirdness that the Ninja Turtles got up to. As we saw with the Classics comics, Volume 1, kind of. Did you get very far through this, or?
Yeah, actually, the on the Classics one I got through.
Yeah.
Hang on, I'm gonna go back and take a look at that one. What was that again?
What I don't understand. What do you mean?
Like, sorry, I'm just trying to figure out the title of it. Oh, it's Classics Volume 1. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't.
I got to it's Teenage Ninja.
Oh, all right. Okay,
No, sorry, Laird's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That's my bad. That's wrong. Well, where Splinter starts off on the cell phone. There's a sword involved. I didn't get through that one.
Oh my goodness, I don't recall him being on a cell phone, but I'm sure he's on some sort of something. Yeah,
or a portable phone. Yeah, but I did the bully one and the robot one. Very fucking weird.
Right. Did you get into any of the ones that were drawn by Mike Zulli?
No,
very different style. Okay,
I don't think so. Are they at the end?
No, they're kind of like midway, and they're all Splinter related. And you'd know what I was talking about if you got there, because it's very different. It's not right after. Okay, then you got the teenage kid, you got the stuff. Oh yeah, here we go. Splinter on the cell phone. Like, what the fuck is this King Arthur shit? Central Park, East Shore, yes, I will see what we can do. And they're like, we're gonna go get legendary Excalibur, and you're like, what is this? They just go underwater and get a sword and then like go home. Yeah, I think if you would have kept going, there's one story, and then afterwards there's some high art shit, some really weird stuff.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah. That's your Mike Zulli. We're gonna see him in Gaiman's Sandman showing up from time to time. But anyway, yeah. What'd you think of these old? I don't even know where these were. Like, one of them was from '88. I don't know the years for this. I didn't look it up. I was like, no.
These are like pretty original stuff, because it has the I don't know if they're recolored or whatever, but they have all the red masks, right? So that's usually the dead giveaway that it's early on stuff. I really like my favorite one. I think was the first one, right off the cuff. The like Lilandra story or whatever, basically.
Yeah. Oh shit, that's a good way of putting it. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, the alien kind of drops down. They immediately react really poorly and just attack them. I don't know. Find the unconscious woman and then get attacked by some weird, like, other space mutants, like a weird penis thing and two derp monsters. I don't know.
Yeah, they've got, and I think that the problem, maybe it's not a problem, but so Peter Laird and Kevin Eastman, I think, who's gone at this point? Who's stayed? I think it's Kevin Eastman doing the writing. I might be wrong about that, because it says, story by Michael Dooney, written by Kevin Eastman. Yeah, you don't see Peter Laird at all. Well, actually, no, sorry. You do see it with New York Ninja. Oh, I take it back. Okay, he shows up quite a bit. But he's fading out at this point. One of them's fading out. I think it's Peter Laird. Might be totally wrong about that. Because as you know, like they're freaking out, and as we covered in the last thing, like the artist changed on Ninja Turtles generally. It became Lawson and Dooney and that sort of thing. Kind of to the series' detriment. These comics aren't very attractive.
No, they look terrible.
Yeah.
Really. They look bad, especially comparatively to when the two guys were clipping. Yeah. And I can't remember what that was about. Didn't the one guy not want to female turtle involved and they got into a big fight and didn't speak for 20 years. Some dumb shit.
I don't know if that was the problem so early on. I think that they were too busy becoming millionaires and they had to make some sacrifices at that time. Because there was just like, there was licensing, there was cartoons and stuff like that, and they couldn't also produce comics. I think if I remember correctly, that was the reason that they were just like, okay, we need to split up the duties here, and we got to get someone else to draw it. But if you're making that much money, what the fuck are you getting Lawson and Dooney to work for you? Like, get it? I guess you don't get rich by signing checks, and also you don't get rich from the comics. You don't get rich from the comics. Like the comics weren't making them this much money, so.
No, now you're getting licensing, right? Toys probably was the big thing.
Yeah.
I imagine. Cartoon. Once it's getting realized on TV, the comics are just sort of sliding into the background. Really sliding into the background. But I didn't not enjoy this. Like, this was pretty epic, story-wise, actually. Like, I thought it was a great little bit. And then I liked the Shell Shock story. That was different. That was a Kevin Eastman, Jim Lawson.
Right. Oh yeah, with the Splinter thing. Yeah.
Yeah, but the art was a bit. The turtles are better here. This art works better.
It is. Yeah, Lawson's very good. I like Lawson's because something about the turtles really, and we saw this with the Simon Bisley work too. Like there's a lot of panels works with this comic. Make it really dense and then open it up for something big and explosive. Not that you see it in this story at all, but it is. Yeah, it's kind of a habit that they have, or at the very least, it's one that Lawson has. Not and he was my understanding is, Lawson stuck around a lot longer. I think Lawson's still involved with Ninja Turtles comics. I think they got two things going on. And some of these were republished at least one of them, the full story was republished in the Ninja Turtles role-playing game, like near the end of the book. They're at a costume party and stuff. Like that's just straight out of the, like that was just planted right inside the Ninja Turtles role-playing game. I know that comic story inside and out. I've read it a billion times. So. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, I liked the literacy volunteer story or whatever with the guy that was like self-deprecating that Splinter gave this. I just found it was funny that the guys stumbled upon him, smelled his breath that he was drunk, and then sort of like faded ninja into the woods again looking for Master Splinter, and Master Splinter was able to come out, help this guy, give him sage advice. Give him some kind of fucking Obi-Wan spirit vision quest to show him that he could read, and then sent him on a fucking sober path, like a fucking he has magic powers, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then all the while he's just like at a distance from the turtles, making his students just look like absolute fucking ridiculous amateurs.
Yeah. That's the Splinter you want. He's cool. He's a Yoda guy. I don't know if you already said that. But
yeah, it is. Yeah, and then this is the Splinter for me. This is the guy. Yeah. It's on a different level.
Yeah, a lot of these stories, that a fair number of them, and maybe it's just bias because of the way it's collected or something like that. But they have like environmentalist messages, or social messages, like there's an activism within this, like so I already asked this, like, what the fuck do you do with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? Like, once you've established this property and it somehow improbably becomes the most popular goddamn thing ever, and you have to keep making these comics because people want them. Like, what the fuck do you do after you stop making fun of the X-Men and Daredevil? And the answer was kinda, and I think it bears out in Sophie Campbell's work, is like you engage in a sort of activism through these stories. Like you have these little moral parables. You have adventures and stuff like that, but then you also have like some sort of like larger social point.
Right, which is basically true to form for for where they directed the Ninja Turtles once the like you say once the fad had worn off, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, that's sort of ingrained in Sophie's work now, which is great. It's true to form. It's what you're looking for, and it I don't know, but and maybe that's just something that stemmed off. I think that social like awareness sort of thing was bigger in the 80s too. Like that you should be delivering this message of.
It was in a sort of perverse way, and maybe, but I think I still agree with you. I was reading the memoir of Flint Dill, the guy who wrote Transformers the movie, and and basically he was talking about Sunbow, the production company they work with, and they weren't a movie company, they were an advertising company. Surprise, surprise, like they were straight up an advertising company. And they got into the cartoon making business because that was the thing at the time. And then they would have all sorts of like focus sessions and talk with, just make sure they're not offending anyone. And one of the things that they had to do if there was going to be guns and violence in these cartoons is have these little, the more you know, and it's important to be good to your friends and shit like that. Those little bits that we got used to at the end of these cartoons. It makes sense that the Ninja Turtles as like a property that they don't know what the fuck to do with, and they want to make sure, or they're just in the habit, of making it, even though it's totally independent and they've got all the money in the world and they can do whatever they want, they're still like ideologically bound within that way of thinking, and it probably served their benefit, clearly it did, because I don't have $1 billion, or neither do they. They have multi-million dollars, but neither here nor there.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, but Dill goes through like explicitly, like, he's talking about at the one time, on the one hand, he wants to talk about like today being it's all wokeness, but he doesn't want to call it that. He's still sort of like, he's saying like everybody's so uptight nowadays. That's kind of how he phrases it.
Oh yeah, that's like a fucking Bill Burr type of like a sort of well, I mean, I guess Bill Burr would be a bit more like literal, but but yeah, still, he loves to take shots at that. And but it's because it's what people don't realize, though. Someone like that's doing it sells. It's
but that's not what Flint's up to. It's just by the by.
He's just sort of like he's just an old guy that's like these kids in social justice are annoying. It's fine.
No, it's not even that, because he talks explicitly about like, okay, we wanted to make sure we weren't offending people. There was this, he talks about various cartoons that they did where this and that happened. The Casey Kasem resigning.
Well, before I think you could offend people and then do a public service announcement at the end.
Right.
Or you could use offensive and edgy things and be like, hey kids, always practice gun safety, at the end of your fucking thing. But now it's not in the, you can't get away with that, or it's got to be literal. It's they're you can't have anything like even just like I put on some G.I. Joe for the kids the other day.
With the original
kids visiting, and I was like, I'll throw this shit on. They had an aircraft carrier fully terrorist attacked. Boom! And planes are blowing up. Guys are running to try to get into a jet. Gunfire everywhere. People are hunkered down. It's a goddamn war zone. And I was like, oh shit, this is not appropriate at all. But it's funny how that was appropriate for us to watch as children.
Reading it was fine for us. We were totally fine with it. It was fucking awesome. But like it was really it was kind of like listening to Dill talk about it, kind of a shock. And it was something that they did have to paste over. And they often lamented that they couldn't be more violent. They were like they would when one of the things. So Dill was working. He was working on something else. I forget what the fuck it was, but he then and it was an action adventure story, but you couldn't really have a lot of violence. And then he got a call from Jesus, it was kind of significant who he got a call from, but fuck it, I don't care, I don't remember. But he gets a call from someone, and they're like, "Come on over, we can finally show guns." And everybody's like, "Wow, this is a big deal." And I think it was a big deal. And that's why they and people protested, and there was all sorts of of course, all very religious, stupid asshole people protested. But nonetheless, it was, what are you selling toys to my children for with all this violence? And it's a good question. And I know the answer.
Well, I mean, I remember being a kid too. Mom took us to Toys R Us when we used to come down to St. Catharines to visit my aunt and uncle, because there was obviously none way up north where we were.
Yeah.
But we used to be able to get Rambo toys, RoboCop toys.
Yeah.
The R-rated, so inappropriate.
Yeah.
But they're run toy lines on that. No worries. That's fucking awesome.
Yeah. The age of the R-rated toy line. Wild. Anyway, that takes us kind of far afield, but I think maybe it doesn't, because go back to Ninja Turtles, and you never, even the Ninja Turtles movie, think of Ninja Turtles #2. They had to they didn't use any of their weapons because there was all these complaints and stuff like that, and they just rolled over. They just fucking rolled over. And those movies, that movie sucked as a consequence. Ninja Turtles 2. Obviously it gave us Toka and Rezar.
Super Shredder.
Yeah. Actually, the Super Shredder was pretty fucking cool. But
Vanilla Ice, absolutely. That one is that's a
TV movie,
cult classic shit show. Yeah. Sort of it led to something. There was a lot going on that's made it still somehow special.
What, the third one?
The second one.
Oh, the second one. Yeah, okay, I'm sorry.
Third one was here's the rubber suits, do whatever you want.
Yeah.
And it just went downhill from there.
Yeah. The second one I have a lot of memories from it. It how could I not? It was Ninja Turtles. This is the biggest goddamn thing. Yeah.
I have them all. I don't remember. And then I think the other one that's worth talking about was an 2004 animated movie reboot that was quite good.
Yeah. I think we brought that up last time we were.
Yeah. And then they have a serialized show that, but I mean, they just reboot in terms of the cartoons, a whole other animal. There's a lot of content there.
I'm wondering, Sophie Campbell is very, very animated, just friendly. I can see it turning into a cartoon so easily, and I'm super curious if that some of that's already happened or if it's going to happen.
Well, they've done a recent reboot, and it doesn't feel like anything that Sophie Campbell's working with. Right. I don't know if that's wrong or not, but it's more of a really kiddie reboot, like a Teen Titans-ish type of.
No, that's fair.
Sort of a loud pop, very aggressive looking. Sort of Turtles, and then that was a new toy line. I watched it and I was like, "This is terrible." And Maddie didn't like it, and she liked that 7 or 8 year series.
Yeah.
Really liked that one, and then Nickelodeon rebooted it to this one, and she didn't care for it.
Yeah. Well, they'll just keep throwing shit at the wall, see what sticks.
Yeah, I'll wait for the next reboot. Give it a sample.
Yeah. All right. It seems weird. I don't know, Ninja Turtles body count, guilty or innocent?
It's a fucking 5-star innocent of sucking and guilty of being amazing.
There we go. Wow. They would put that right on the back. Yeah, I think it's it's guilty of being offensive because it's trying so hard to be as offensive as possible.
It succeeds in most cases. It is the big veiny dick of Ninja Turtles stories.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's yeah. All right. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. That's it.
Now, all we need is a little energon and a lot of luck.